Morning and greetings from Northumberland on Saturday the 3rd of September, a rather duller morning with maybe some rain expected. Today the Church commemorates Pope Gregory the Great, often attributed as the one who sent Christianity through St Augustine to the United Kingdom, to Great Britain. But of course that's not strictly true, because Christianity had existed in England and Scotland and Ireland and Wales and Cornwall and all these other bits in various forms before that. What he was responsible for was the mission to Canterbury and St Augustine, and the prominent emergence of Canterbury as the centre of the church in England particularly. But he had many other things. He was born in, let me check the date, he was born in 540, so he was a 6th century pope, and at a time when the Roman Empire was finished, really. And he was the pope who, if you like, laid the foundations of the way in which the church, what we would call now the Roman Catholic Church, but which was still just the western half of the church, would be the uniting force in Europe. And of course the biggest argument for the Synod of Whitby's final decision, which had lots of flaws in it, was that it united the church in these lands to the church in Europe. And the church could serve for centuries as a uniting power in a fragmented Europe. We've gone from the unifying effects of the Roman Empire, which was already fractured completely at the edges and beginning to be fractured at the centre, to a place where the church was the unifying and, if you like, civilizing and uniting force within Europe. And it is to Gregory and his reforms, his zeal, his gentleness and his firmness that we owe this. Rising through the ranks of the church, visiting the church in the East, but above all being a great and reforming pope, using his administrative skills to establish the strength and power of the church. And so we are reminded that a holy administrator who is filled with the zeal of God can make a big difference. We give thanks for his ministry and for the way in which the church could be a uniting element. And that brings us to a fragmented country that we live in, and a fragmented Great Britain that we live in. I believe that the values of Christ, the values that the church proclaim, need to be a uniting factor in our country and in the challenges that we face, that from our faith will pour forth a desire to serve and to help the needy, the poor, the anxious. So we give thanks for Gregory's reform, and we pray that we may be filled with zeal to follow the way of Christ and proclaim Christ's love to those around us.